Hey, it's Mari with the Of Swords and Soulmates podcast, where we read, watch, and discuss sci-fi and fantasy stories spiced with romance and ask, is this a kissing book? It is still Alien August, so I will be continuing with some more alien romance reading recs. First off, I have the Naga Bride series by Naomi Lucas. It is 8 books. It's all male, female, and it's the females are all humans and the males are all Naga. There is a pretty decent variety of age range and ethnicities and body types in the females, but it is all male-female. The Naga themselves are all really different. Like, they're all humanoid body with snake tail, giant snake tail, like that's what a Naga is. But they all have very different characteristics depending on what type of Naga or snake they are. So there's like cobra, there's a black mamba, there's like water snakes, there's snakes that, prefer like hidey holes, there's snakes that prefer up in the trees. And so each one has a differing personality, dependent on like the type of snake that they are, formed after. The concept is basically there are no women, female Nagas left. So these Nagas have made a deal with some of the humans, unbeknownst to these women, to basically get the women in trade for supply. There's a larger overarching plot that happens amongst the books, and there's some things that are revealed, and there's some interesting story. I cannot go into it without spoiling anything, because really, you don't want to know too much more going into the first book. The one thing I highly recommend for these, honestly, is to listen to them as audiobooks rather than reading them. The choices that the, author and narrators have done in creating this, like, very sibilant accent for the Naga creatures. So they each have their different voices because they're different protagonists in each of the books. So it's not like the same voice, the same character, whatever, but they all have a very distinct Naga accent that's very, like, sibilant forward, that was created for the series. And it really, I don't know, maybe I like accents. I thought it was really interesting. It added this other layer of like world building to this that kind of pulls everything together. After that, I've got the Spider's Mate series by Tiffany Roberts, the husband and wife writing duo. This is, like a bound up, omnibus thing of the first 3 or the main 3 books in the primary story. So it is Ensnared, Enthralled, and Bound. Those are the first 3. So you basically have Spider-Man. Not the Spider-Man you're thinking of. It's these alien spider creatures, which are kind of humanoid up top and then have these giant legs, and they do webs, and they're very spider-like. It's really interesting world building that Tiffany Roberts has done, because the first book in many ways can be really stereotypical of a lot of monster romance, where you have this like monster-like creature and you have a human woman and they fall in love. But instead of kind of leaving it at that, Tiffany Roberts has like gone super deep with the world building. So you have this entire, the culture, these spider creatures are not called spiders. They're called the bricks. So the bricks have this very like entire culture, with like language. They have, a structure of like guards. They have a, leader. They have like a trading system, a labor division system, artistry, hunting, like a whole culture that was created. And, on top of that, overarching on the first 3 books in this series, it was Ensnared, Enthralled, and Bound. You have people rising up against the big bad. You have the underprivileged class, and, minority, rise up and like overthrow the big bad, get together with other underprivileged groups, overthrow systems of oppression. Like, it has this whole overarching political plot, that happens, and it changes the entire culture of these people. So it starts off as this like, haha, silly alien romance, ends up being this really amazing, like, fantasy fantasy series. Now, there are books that come after these main 3 that's kind of the new culture, new societies getting established. I'm trying really hard to not do major spoilers. But I haven't read all of the new ones, so I can't really talk a lot about the new ones yet. But I would say these main 3, this is a really interesting and very like deeply developed, silly alien romance story to get into that I would highly recommend. That's all I got. Have fun reading.